Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bondy on Baseball. First off, thank you, Mark Woodfield. I decided that this looks really good in the background, and it's kind of like the title of the show, like having the Tonight Show behind the Tonight Show host, the Today Show. It's Bondy on Baseball, and this is my logo, so thank you, Mark. That's staying. Sometimes it's not all fun and games in baseball, and we have to address a serious issue, and that is domestic violence. Domestic violence occurs obviously in many facets of the working world, and specifically in sport. And most recently in Major League Baseball, Marcell Ozuna was arrested last night. There was a domestic violence call to his residence. The cops arrived at the place and witnessed with their own eyes his hand around his wife's throat and hit her with the cast that he has on his hand because he's on the 10-day DL with a fractured hand. He was arrested, and I hope that the MLB will not let him step foot on a field ever again. This is absolutely, obviously, something that needs to stop. MLB has an apparent no-tolerance policy on domestic violence. Now, the no-tolerance policy isn't that. It is not enough that these guys get suspended for 80 games or the rest of the season. Anybody involved in a domestic violence dispute should not stand on a field again. We cannot give these men millions and millions of dollars and a little slap on the wrist when they have punched their wives or partners in the face. It is something that makes my blood boil, and this domestic violence policy, this no tolerance policy of the MLB is absolute bullshit, and I'm calling it right now. Because these men are still allowed to step on the field. There needs to be something in a contract that if you violate anything domestic violence related, you will no longer be a part of the organization. You will be banned from baseball forever. A little slap on the wrist and a fine and a suspension is not enough because it continues to happen. And just to bring to light, there are still people standing on the field right now that were suspended for domestic violence. I am boiling right now that MLB takes such a back foot because these guys can throw 100 miles an hour or hit a ball a mile. It's not enough. They need to disappear. They need to be charged. They need to be arrested. This is it. So we're calling them out. Aroldis Chapman, Urias Familia, or Roberto Osuna, Marcell Ozuna, Addison Russell, Sam Dyson, and a guy that plays for the Yankees, Domingo Germán. Domingo Germán not only abused his wife, but he was seen doing it at a CC Sabathia New York Yankees fundraiser after it was separated at the party. Later that night, Domingo Germán's partner called and texted two other wives on the Yankees, and those players and their wives had to go over to their house because Domingo Germán's partner had locked herself in the bathroom because he was continuing to abuse her. This is ridiculous because you know why? He's back on the mound pitching in a Yankees uniform. This needs to end. The contract needs to say if you are involved in a domestic violence dispute, you will no longer be a part of this organization. You will no longer be a part of baseball. It is done. We need to take a stand on this. If you stand for anything, MLB, it's right now. No tolerance. Make it that. No tolerance. Done. You are done. I am done with this. Woo! Okay, how do we make the game of baseball better? There's been a lot of discussion about things that we can do to make the baseball game more entertaining. And it's kind of hovering around, it's such a slow game, we need to speed it up. But here's another angle on it. How about we give the fans more access to the game? Would it not be entertaining if we could explore different camera angles? They sometimes tease the camera angle from behind the catcher with the pitcher coming in, and you can see how fast that ball is. You can see the movement because you're there at the plate. If you're wondering what it looks like, let's throw a cam on the umpire. Stop teasing me with this umpire cam during spring training and then it never happening in real game. This would be incredible. So we need different camera angles. We need to see what it is like to be in the box in a major league game. If we mic'd up more players, that would also be awesome. They do that sometimes on ESPN, and we have conversations with the outfielders and guys on the bench, and it's extremely entertaining. If there is a chance, if anyone's watching out there that is involved in TV broadcasting, has any access to developing an app, let's think about maybe like I don't want to call it like an 18 plus app because you probably get a couple different things. But let's talk about an unlimited all access, must be 21 years of age to enter, all out unrestricted pass on the mic'd up. Okay, you can have a 10-second delay because let's be honest, we have a little bit of language in baseball sometimes. But hey, that's part of the game. As long as it's not abusive, then whatever, give it to me. We should have mics in the bullpen. Let's hear these pitchers talk about what's going on in the game from the angle of the outfield. Let's get mics on or in the ground of the pitcher's mound. Let's hear the discussions between the pitchers and catchers. I know that probably exposes a little bit of the game plan. You don't want that. You need the secret. So I maybe get that because that would probably affect the game because we all know that the Houston Astros are hunting for any footage they can to try to cheat. Still not over it. What about also allowing the players to put on their swag? Okay, basketball, they can wear their shoes. They can wear anything that is their brand while playing. MLB has this strict policy, and obviously Trevor Bauer is an attest to this, where they're not allowed to wear things, they're not allowed to wear their sponsors. They're not allowed to promote themselves on the field of play. And I have issue with that. Why are we not allowing this? The game is evolving where it is becoming more entertaining. Bat flips, screams, getting guys pumped. If we gave more access to the fans and didn't give a crap about people celebrating a crazy achievement like a walk-off homer or a game-tying homer or a huge strikeout on a dirty slider, let's get it going. Let's get excited about this. These are ways to bring people into the game. And part of the problem is that the people that are running Major League Baseball have become out of touch with baseball because, frankly, they're a bunch of old angry white guys that are controlling the game because they can't play it anymore or never could in the first place. So right now they're staring down at the field and they're jealous of guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Trevor Bauer who are taking a stance and becoming humongous icons in the game because of the humans that they are. Let's move the game forward. We have the technology to give fans unlimited access to the players and learn more about the game. You want to know what it's like to stand in the box against Jacob deGrom? Sweet. We have a camera on the ump's head. Let's take a look. Real quick, some Blue Jays talk. My wife and I were able to go to the doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. Alek Manoah. If you didn't see the start, holy cow, it was amazing. One, it's super hard to pitch at Yankee Stadium. Two, it was his major league debut. And against the Yankees lineup, he couldn't have done any better. His first at-bat was a walk. And then he warmed up. He went 6 innings, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. This is exciting for the Jays because Nate Pearson, and Alek Manoah in spring training were all like, who is this guy? And let me tell you, he showed us who he is. And what was even better is his family were the loudest people in the stadium. My wife and I were sitting in the 300s. You can get that cheap old ticket. And we just heard the roar of what felt like our people. We look over the edge, and sure enough, there was just this pocket of Jays fans. And we looked closer, they all had Manoah jerseys on. Manoah! Woo! And it was his family, and they were the loudest people in the park. It was so beautiful to see, and watching the interviews after, Manoah choking up because of his family being there, and he couldn't look up at his mom. To be honest, every pitch, it looked like he was looking up at me. Was he? Alek, if you were looking at me, let's go have a drink. Actually, no. Let's get in the cage and practice. Throw me one. One of the funniest plays I've ever seen in Major League Baseball happened in the game against the Pittsburgh Pirates and Chicago Cubs. Have a look.
Baez hits it on the ground to third. Gonzalez. This is so good. Oh my goodness. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. They stole a run. You have gotta be kidding me. Javi Baez.
Keep going. Go. You're invincible.
First of all, this chaos, there were 2 outs. The first baseman just had to step on the bag, and Javi Baez is sitting in the line being like, nope, come get me. What are you thinking? I coach kids like 5 to 8. These are plays that they make. So if you think you're bad at baseball, give yourself a break. Because this can happen in the major leagues. Not very often, but it does. It's a hard sport. But this You getting paid millions of dollars? Need to know how many outs there are. And to end off this episode, I have to say a very, very, very happy birthday to my mom. Mom, you're beautiful. You're also one of the biggest Jays fans ever. I get texts from my mom all the time during the game. Doesn't matter how late at night it is. She is up watching. And check out this photo. This is my fam. I asked them to do this. We got professional photos taken, and I was like, on one condition, that this photo exists. I love you, Mom. Happy birthday. Jays, doubleheader today. Let's rip it. Thanks for tuning in on Bondy on Baseball. Till next time.
Hey, Bondy, you up.